Flare Balloons here with another 2 Megapops video. Today we'll be covering the Spirit of the Forest. And yes, Spirit of the Forest, that tower that covers the entire track and does continuous damage. So let's get started then. Saving up for Geraldo, and we do not require any upgrades at this point in the game. The Druid can handle these first few balloons just fine. And place Geraldo down on round 9, which is a very ideal round to put him down on actually. Once you have the money, get yourself Thorn Swarm, and then shortly after that Hard Thorns as well, for both more thorns thrown per throw from the druid, and each thorn itself does more damage, and also can pop lead balloons. Also, Spirit of the Forest combined with hard thorns means that the thorns that are grown over track can pop lead balloons and damage DDTs as well. Once you have the money, get yourself some Heart of Thunder for some early game crowd control. Heart of Oak, so that the regenerative balloons actually now have 0 chance of regrowing. Like, Spirit of the Forest is the tower that you need in order to ensure that there is no such thing as regrow balloons. On round 24, apply an invisibility potion on the druid so that it can pop camo balloons. Round 7th, sorry. And Geraldo has one single pop. Also, look at this crowd control. This would be a struggle if we didn't have Heart of Thunder, but now we're going to get Druid of the Jungle so that we can target balloons from afar, which is one of the best things actually about the middle path Druid. Visibility potion will run out on round 33. That's why it's ideal to have it on round 24, because that's when the first camo balloon appears, but also having it specifically on round 24, like applying it on the actual round of round 24, means that you can pop camos on round 33 with the same invisibility potion. 2-in-1 sort of thing. So don't apply it before round 24, put it on round 24. Let's see, we're going to need an invisibility potion on round 36, because we have some camo regrow greens actually, which we need to deal with. We're slowly building up for the Spirit of the Forest, round 37 zebra balloons. Even ceramics are going to be absolutely no problem. Like, this thing is specifically for ceramics. Like, this thing just excels at ceramics. That's just what it does, especially when it gets to Spirit of the Forest. Ceramics are non-existent with this thing around. Let's see, we're getting close to round 40, which is when we're going to need Jerry's Fire, but we can't get it yet because we're not level 8, but we don't want to purchase this yet until, there we go, when the purchase is cheaper, and apply to that, and then this will be able to pop a MOAB. Without Jerry's Fire, we will be able to do enough damage in order to pop the MOAB. Let's see how things get along from this point onwards with these bunch of black balloons, zebra balloons, rainbow balloons, possibly after that. Just absolutely a cakewalk with these duo sets of vines that constantly spawn out of the ground. Let's see, this is one of the best early towers that there is, honestly. Like, soon you're not going to be able to actually see the balloons enter a trap because of the vines and what they do. Like, I think round 20... Oh, run out of that, but we've got that under control. It's the round before the ledge, round 27. Sometimes you're not even able to see the balloons actually enter the trap because the vines that appear out of the ground just deals with it, all of them. Like, just try a Junkle's Bounty on round 27, and you're literally not going to see a single balloon appear on the screen because it starts with red, then goes blue, then green, then yellow. But the effects of the vines means that it continues popping balloons even when it's ensnared one of them. Let's see, we're going to need to put another Jerry's Fire on because the previous one has expired, and this is specifically in place so that we can get enough pops to pop the MOAB, the blimp. There we go, and it will soon go down. Excellent. Also, I do not believe we're going to need to apply another invisibility potion on the Druid until Geraldo itself is level 19. Geraldo really is the best hero to have on a Chimps game. Like, sometimes you would have like a niche hero to buff your fire attacks like Gwen, or if you're looking for any kind of 2-tower chimps, and Sordo is one of the best ones to have, but even Geraldo itself is very competent for 2-tower chimps. But freaking to say, Geraldo, there's not really many reasons why you wouldn't want to select Geraldo. Like, Etienne provides global camo, but then again, so does Geraldo in certain ways. The invisibility potion will soon run out, but I don't think there are any more camos to deal with until the camo leads around 59, but by then we'll have the money in order to completely cover the tracks with vines, which will be absolutely marvelous. This is a little bit of an issue, but no worries. Round 58 is starting. Round 57 was a little bit of a handful there, but nothing to worry. Let's see. And we will have the money now. So I placed it a bit further south from where I would normally place ours, just simply because the stronger vines will appear around these squares along here. But then also goes a bit further south with the second strongest lot of vines, so that's why I kind of position it in a rather awkward spot. Well, not awkward, but in a less convenient spot than usual. And because of hard thorns, these vines can actually pop lead balloons, which is very ideal, which means we don't need an MIB. I'd rather sacrifice extra range so that this thing can actually pop lead balloons, which I think you guys would agree is the more ideal choice. Heart Thunder was only there for early crowd control, but from here on out, it's going to be a breeze until like 80s, 90s. Like these next 20 or so rounds, no worries whatsoever. But what I'm going to be doing right now is giving you jungle drums, then radar scanner, so that you can then manually pop camo balloons, even though it provides very little benefit because these vines on the track by default can target and pop camo balloons, which is awesome actually. This is one of my favorite towers of all time, Spirit of the Forest. It is such a brilliant tower. It is so underrated. Covering the entire track with vines. Yes, it's not always ideal, like especially in challenges where it's not accessible and it's not the best thing to use against MOAB class balloons, but it's so ideal and it prevents regrowths from ever having the ability to regrow back. We've got potential damage in tow. Now let's delay the amount of time that it takes for a MOAB class balloon to be able to travel along the track. So we're going to be placing at least 3 of these Tutu monkey villages around the track, and then we're going to be having 2 relentless glues in order to slow down these as much as possible, so that there is more time for the Spirit of the Forest to be able to pop balloons and stuff like that. So that's the first one. There's going to be many more that will lit up a track. But also at some point we're going to be having a MOAB eliminator, specifically for the bad, and only to use on the bad. Notice how we can't use the Spirit of the Forest ability because in Chimps any means of being able to get additional money is completely disabled. Like, I think the only theoretical way in order to actually get additional money in Chimps is with support sacrifices on a Sun Temple and True Sun God. Like, that is, I think, the only exception to the rule. But then by that point, you would have already cleared Chimps because getting a Sun Temple is not really possible within the first 94 rounds of Chimps. I say 94 as in like round 6 to 100, you know, 94 rounds. Was it 95? Because round 6 is the first round and 100 is the 95th round? I don't know. Let's see, 75, 76? 76 is always around, which is to be feared. Camo regrows ceramics. And yet, the Spirit of Forest just crushes ceramics. It is so glorious. Whenever in the future the Druid Paragon comes out and you're looking for Druids to be able to accumulate the amount of pops needed and you want to produce a regrow farm, do not use the Spirit of the Forest as a means to get pops, especially like on round 79. Because this thing will just make regrow balloons non-existent. Makes these rainbow regrow balloons non-existent. This is a rubbish tower to use if you want to produce a regrow farm. Like, use something else like an Avatar of Wrath all the way back here without the means of Heart of Oak. Like, you can use either Top Path or just Thorn Swarm. But not Heart of Oak, please. Whatever you do, do not put on Heart of Oak for a regrow farm. Unless you think that is a very ideal solution for preventing a regrow farm. Which in that case would be awesome, but not for this, not for that kind of scenario. Anyways, we're back on Spirit of the Forest, not 2 Chimps, 2 Megapops, there we go. Now, this is the ideal reason why I have MOAB glue and Relentless glue. It means that towers like this, sorry, not towers, MOABs like this, which are usually incredibly tough, will have even more time than it needs to be able to get to the end of a track. Which means more time on the vines, more damage. Also, just don't go top path unless you're just sticking to the first upgrade. Which in some cases is better than the glue splatter. Because of the stunnage, I just think that the glue splatter is much more ideal. Let's see. Round 80 is adjourned. Round 81 is going to be even easier than round 80. I wonder theoretically how much Pierce the Spirit of the Forest actually has. Is it some kind of incredibly insane number? Like within the millions or the billions? Because you could plot that thing down on a regrow farm covering the entirety of a track, and the computer will either take forever to load because it is trying to pop all of the balloons on the track, or it will just simply crash the computer because, well, it cannot handle the amount of poppages going on simultaneously because of the sheer amount of pierce that the vines have on the track. So, we have 4 of these down, and these are covering a wide array of this part of the track. So now what I want to do is put down a MOAB eliminator. Obviously it needs to go to Bomb Tower, then we need to go to Faster Reload, Missile Launcher, MOAB Mauler, Assassin, and then MOAB eliminator when we can afford it. And that's specifically to use on the bad, so we can get it down to the lower layers, so then the glue gunners can get to work, and this will have a better time being able to get all of the pops required. But I've also put this bomb tower specifically behind this tree so that if at any point any balloons come along here, then this won't be able to target them. You could also put it behind the umbrellas, but to be honest, like, the hitbox is too big, and the shadow that it provides, or the obstacle that it provides, just it doesn't do enough for me to feel comfortable with this. So we don't need to use an assassin on any of these at all. Like, it's just not necessary to use an assassin on these when there's more than enough time on this track, and on logs as well, for the Spirit of the Forest to do justice. The only thing bad about these MOAB glues on a track like this, it does make each round considerably longer, but it's worth it for the 2 Megapops with one of my favorite towers ever in the game. I do think it's an underappreciated tower, but let me know what you think about the Spirit of the Forest. Round 87, even more ZMGs, even more very, very slow travel speed for this thing. But honestly, I am not in a rush. And with the power of editing, all of the times that I don't talk are just cut out of the video. But right now I'm talking, And this thing is doing work. The more that they break down, the more... Actually, these are making it even further despite the fact that the vines on the track have infinite poppage. But maybe because it's the thorns and the lightning themselves that are doing damage to the initial MOABs that spawn at the front of a track, which could be the deciding factor. But also as well, sometimes when it comes to ceramics that actually spawn out of the map, sometimes the vines themselves can do a huge amount of damage to MOAB class balloons, so that it looks like a BFB is being popped right at the very beginning of the track. But you don't really see anything going on, but it's just vines growing underneath them because of ceramics that appear at the very beginning of the track for those vines to appear in the first place. So at times a BFB can be popped right at the beginning of the track, and other times it's popped quite far through the track itself. See, absolutely no problems whatsoever. Like, there was only one early round which was a little bit on the, oh gosh, could we do something else sort of thing, but not right now. 4k away from MOAB Eliminator. DTs are no problem around 90. Let's just put some Jerry's fire down just to be on the safe side. We can do that. Got 10 rounds to it, so disappear once round 100 has been completed. But by then, the challenge would be done. Let's see, round 91, round 92, fortified MOABs, no problem. No problem whatsoever. The relentless glue, MOAB glue, is coming to town with this sort of thing because it's really delaying the amount of time that it takes for them to be able to go through the entirety of a track. That's why we have these here, so that it delays. They don't do damage, but they provide support. And stunnage as well when the balloons are popped. But we're doing work. We're doing God's work. It's slow, but it's steady. Slow and steady wins the race. And I think, in a way, Spirit of the Forest is, in a way, the meaning of slow and steady, because it does things kind of in a slow and steady fashion. It doesn't do a huge amount of pops within a short amount of time, but it's continuous. It's a very increment climb downwards for these enemies. Also, I just remembered we now got money for the MOAB Eliminator, so that is now there. We'll get heavy bombs, why not? It doesn't affect the ability, but I just think because now that we've got the money for pretty much anything that we have at our disposal, what now do we want to build? Well, I'm going to put 2 more relentless glues down along this very bottom portion of the track here, just in case anything that spawns out of the bad does get this far on the track. And I want some ways of slowing down the balloons. Look at how many MOAB class balloons there are. But then also look at the amount of damage we're doing. It's actually not that much at all. But remember, it's very, very slow incremental damage. And round 94 will soon come to a close. Once these ZMGs start being popping, then we can make some more progress. There we go, BFBs. Then to MOABs, then to ceramics, then to nothing. Once they go to ceramics, they're just nothing. Absolutely zilch. So let's see. Put this one on here. MOAB glue, relentless glue, glue splatter, round 95. Yep, you can't see any of them spawn in. Like you can see tiny shards of the vines appearing, but just absolutely nothing to be worried about whatsoever. DDTs, no problem. Hard thorns makes it so that it's actually possible to damage DDTs. If we proceed bottom path, then we would have to pursue an MIB in order for them to actually do damage. But we're saving a lot of money by not pursuing MIB by having hard thorns. Let's see now. Blue splatter there. Then we place another one over here for safety measures. If we complete this and these are just completely still, then these have definitely been a waste of money, but better safe than sorry to say the least. Round 96 will soon be adjourned. So, okay, so level 19, lovely. We'll put that on there, put that on there. Yeah, pickles will help with the fortified ZMGs. Like, that's probably the only purpose on why I've applied for pickle. Other than that, it's actually more of a detriment than a benefit, unless you're actually specifically wanting to pop fortified balloons with the affected tower in some ways. But I don't think it actually affects the vines on the track themselves. It's just for the thorns that it spawns from the tower itself and the lightning that it shoots out. So let's see, glue splash on the floor. And you know what? For more range, pierce, and projectile speed on these glue gunners, why not? Let's go for it, actually. Let's just put some primary training on Spirit of the Forest 2 Megapops. Yeah, that's really handy. Like, when you think of Spirit of the Forest, you just naturally think of an MIB. Like, that just seems like the more default choice. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is put that there, put that there, and put that there. There we go. Now that these can actually affect DDTs. So let's see. ZMGs, nothing being popped yet, but we have all of the time in the world. The best in the world belongs at the moment to the spirit of the forest and its vines, and not the dead website vines. Let's see, round 97 is adjourned. And now that Geraldo's shop is complete, now let's place the other two creepy idols down. We spawn on round 97, so that then they may also be on round 100. So we literally have 4 of these down rather than 2. Let's see. What else could we put down? Nothing really. If we proceed bomb path on the top path, we get a sharpening stone, but there's very, very little point in having that. Let's see, round 98 has been completely vaporized. The creepy idols are doing work. Also really weird on certain occasions when the creepy idol is at work that the balloons themselves are immune to damage from the thorns on the track itself. Let's see, round 99. Fortified ZMGs, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Just look at them go down. Oh, Vitamin B stored as well, but look at them go down. Yep. No problem whatsoever. Now, round 100. If it wasn't for the MOAB eliminator, well, the bad would literally make it to the end of the track without the bad lady even being popped. So, that is why we're just going to spam the MOAB eliminator when we can. Let's see. I don't know why I'm putting these on here. I think it's just because I have the money for it. Let's see, another one. What else could we do? Yeah, why not? Let's see. 13,000. Let's see. We could do another one for MOAB eliminator. Okay, let's just hold off now. I think we'll be able to beat. Yeah, we'll do this. There's no way these DDTs will make it very far on the track. Oh, hold on. I'm glad I placed these here. They went quite far through the track, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because of the lack of an alchemist. I think that's what it is. But I think this is actually the first 2-tower CHIMPS run that I've done where I've not applied the alchemist, like specifically for top half alchemist, in order to help us in our journey. So let's see. Yeah, we'll do this. This is definitely in the bag. 1.99. 2 million pops. Lovely. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is interesting. There we go. And our reward for our endeavors is a plain, unupgraded ice tower. You know what? I'll take it. 2.019 million pops. And we've only got like just over or just under 100 regrows at some point, like at the very beginning of the game. But when it comes to the number of pops that the Spirit of the Forest exceeds over, it's like you could put this down to exactly 2.19 million pops and it would still be accessible. Way accessible. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this 2 Megapops run. Take care of yourselves, everyone.